The journey of Christopher Columbus to the New World. The 15th century was a time of great transformation. Europe was emerging from the dark Middle Ages into the Renaissance, a period marked by new ideas, scientific progress, and a drive for global trade. At that time, trade routes to the east through Asia and the Middle East were controlled by powerful Islamic empires, pushing European powers to seek alternative routes to India and China, lands rich in spices, silk, and gold. Among the adventurers of the time was Christopher Columbus, an ambitious Italian navigator born in Genoa in 1451. Columbus believed that the earth was round, contrary to the common belief that it was flat. He dreamed of a westward voyage across the Atlantic Ocean to reach India, bypassing the long and perilous overland routes. The dream begins. Columbus spent years trying to convince European monarchs to fund his voyage. He first approached the King of Portugal, who rejected his plan. Then he turned to Spain's monarchs, Queen Isabella I and King Ferdinand II. Initially, they dismissed his proposal as well, being preoccupied with their campaign against the Muslims in Andalusia. But after the fall of Granada in 1492, the monarchs began to see merit in his idea, particularly with Columbus promising untold wealth if the expedition succeeded. The monarchs eventually agreed, granting him 3 small ships, Santa Maria, Nina, and Pinta. The ships were modest, designed for coastal sailing rather than traversing vast oceans. Setting sail on August 3, 1492, Columbus and his crew departed from the port of Palos in southern Spain. The crew consisted of about 90 men, most of whom were simple sailors, along with a few adventurers seeking fortune. The Atlantic Ocean was a vast, uncharted expanse at the time. No one knew what lay beyond the horizon. Initially, they sailed to the Canary Islands to resupply and repair the ship's sails. From there, they embarked on their long journey westward. Challenges at sea. As weeks passed, the crew grew anxious. The ocean seemed endless, with no sign of land. Supplies began to dwindle and fears of mutiny arose. However, Columbus, a determined and charismatic leader, calmed his men, assuring them they were close to reaching their destination. One night, Columbus noticed the water becoming less salty and an increase in seabirds. These signs convinced him that land was near. Discovering the New World. At dawn on October 12, 1492, a sailor named Rodrigo de Triana shouted, "Land! Land!" It was a moment of triumph. The ships had reached a small island in the Caribbean, which Columbus named San Salvador. Believing he had arrived in the East Indies, Columbus did not realize he had discovered a completely new continent. The native inhabitants, living simple lives of fishing and farming, welcomed the Europeans with hospitality. But Columbus and his men saw them as an opportunity to exploit resources. Returning to Spain. After exploring several other islands, including Cuba and Hispaniola, modern-day Haiti and the Dominican Republic, Columbus decided to return to Spain. He brought with him gold, plants, and even a few native people as proof of his success. When he returned to Spain in 1493, Columbus was greeted as a hero. The monarchs were thrilled by the promise of wealth and resources, and they financed more voyages. Impact of the journey. Columbus's discovery marked the beginning of a new age of exploration and colonization. European powers rushed to explore and colonize the newly discovered lands, leading to profound changes in world history. However, this era also brought great suffering to the indigenous peoples of the Americas, who faced diseases brought by Europeans, slavery, and exploitation. Columbus's final days. Despite his achievements, Columbus's later years were fraught with difficulties. He faced criticism for his harsh treatment of native peoples and lost favor with the Spanish court. He died in 1506, in poverty, unaware that he had discovered an entirely new continent. His journey, however, remains one of the most significant events in human history, connecting continents and forever changing the course of civilization.